everybody, Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School, live with your October 2022 energy update. I've got 4 important themes that I'd really like to share with you this month. The first is calling yourself home. The second is refocusing on inner work. The third is integrity and self-responsibility. And the fourth is coexistence. So stay tuned for the rest of the energy update. Hey everybody, I hope you're doing really well. Happy October. Here we are in fall, at least in the northern hemisphere. The weather is changing, things are shifting, and we are moving and grooving into some new energies this month. So I feel like the energies that I'm going to talk about and the themes that I'm going to talk about, that the guides are giving us a little tough love in October. I realized that September and the latter half of August was probably pretty intense for you all because we've been doing some massive karmic clearing in the last 6 weeks, and we're preparing, I think, to move into a deeper stage of coexistence on this planet, and that's one of the themes that I want to talk with you about here shortly. So first, though, let's talk about the first energetic theme, which is calling yourself home. So last week I was doing a lot of sessions at a festival, one right after the other, and I started including at the end of my sessions to have the person call themselves back home into their body 3 times. And I really wasn't sure why I did that, and it just felt right, and it's continued to feel right in all of my sessions. I've been kind of employing that practice with most of my clients. And what I am tuning into, and other channels have been tuning into, I'm seeing a lot of this in the spiritual community, a lot of writing about this, that we are calling parts of ourselves back home that have been stuck in so many different places, so many different timelines, so many different patterns, so many different old ways of being, and those bits and pieces of us are starting to reseat back in our being. And so it's going to be important this month that you kind of step into this practice of calling yourself back home. And it is actually a really simple practice of just literally saying, I insert your name, call myself back home 3 times in a row, and just draw your energy back into your body. We have kind of gotten a little bit fragmented over this last 6 months or so, as we have been bringing so much light into our beings and stirring up so many kind of big, heavy, dense energies that we're trying to release, that I'm noticing that many of us have been feeling really disembodied and disassociated and ungrounded. And so as we're working with this theme, when we call ourselves back home, it's really just bringing all of those fragments of light back into our being. And I think that this is a metaphor for the new level of wholeness and completeness and healing that we are all stepping into. I don't know about you all, but something in the last few weeks has really shifted for me, and I feel like I am on a different mission and a expanded mission and in a broader way of being in my person, in my holistic self. And this theme of calling yourself home is supporting that foundational element of bringing all of our parts back, so that as we continue to raise our frequency and continue to grow and blossom, that we have a really strong and firm foundation. So being in nature and getting into those lower chakras and calling ourselves back home is going to be really important this month. And you may see this theme come up in other ways in things that you have long forgotten, aspects of yourself that you've long forgotten, that you've been missing out on, that really need to be a part of your day-to-day experience. Those aspects of self might be returning to you. You might be picking up old hobbies, old things that you haven't done in a while that really feel like home to you. So just see how this lands for you this month, but really work with this theme of calling yourself home. The second theme, this is where the tough love starts to come in, is refocusing on our inner work. Okay, so I have been seeing that over the summer we had so much external focus, and we're moving into a different time period, especially in the northern hemisphere, as we're moving into the fall months, where we really need to refocus on the inner landscape. And last month we had a theme of inner listening, which was all about getting quiet and kind of separating from the noise. Well, now there may be some things that have kind of been on the back burner for you that you really need need to get down to business with. And so this idea of refocusing and dropping back into the inner landscape and your own personal work, right? Pulling a little bit out of the chaos and the noise around you and what everybody is asking of you. What is your mission on this planet? What do you need to refocus on? What are your priorities? And so I really feel like this Libra energy that we're in here that's going to kind of move into Scorpio season is really going to help with that as we kind of get focused on this inner landscape. So it may be time to recommit to some practices that you've lost. It may be time to refocus on some things that you have been putting off, or maybe some projects that you really wanted to complete. We're getting out of 6 planets being in retrograde, so there's some forward movement, but if you are not focused, then you're not going to be able to take advantage of that energy. So make sure you have time to do your inner work this month. Don't skimp on that, okay? Really lean into that. And that takes me into the third theme, which is integrity and self-responsibility. Whew, that feels big, right? So I have been getting a little schooled by my guides about being even more in integrity with how I use my voice. My mission here on this planet is expanding. I just launched my New Earth Now school, and it's a really important place where we're doing some major visioning of the new earth now and anchoring that onto this planet at this time. And my guides were saying to me, Katie, your voice is getting more powerful, and I think this applies to all of us. Your thoughts are getting more powerful. Things are manifesting even more quickly. So we have to be in integrity with how we're speaking to ourselves and to one another. And even when we're not actually saying anything and we're just thinking it, moving into more integrity in how we're using our voice and how we're expressing. And so that looks like us being really careful of our judgment energy, because when we're in judgment, we are really creating a lot of separation between us and those around us, including when we're in judgment of ourselves. And so when we're in deep integrity in how we're expressing, we are really holding our vibration and holding our frequency, because the moment that you drop into judgment is the moment that your energetic boundaries kind of break down, and all kinds of negative energies can get into your space. Lower density energies can get into your space. So the more in integrity and in alignment you are with your own values when you're expressing, the better. That's how we hold our frequency. And I also want to talk with you about the second half of this theme, which is self-responsibility. Now, this one may sound kind of heavy, and if you're somebody who tends to project things onto others, it may be a heavy theme for you, but I actually think that this is really positive. The way that I'm seeing this self-responsibility theme start to show up is that we're pulling our energy back of trying to fix for others, of trying to take responsibility for the collective, for what's happening around us that we can't control. This is about what can you change within your being? What do you have control over? What can you take responsibility for? And being in integrity with how you express yourself is just one of those things. So when we pull our energy back and self-regulate and get really in our self-responsibility, then we're not taking on the energies of those around us, and we're able to hold our vibration much more strongly. So we've passed some kind of threshold in the last 6 weeks or so where there is really a line in the sand of us feeling like we have to be responsible for carrying the burdens of everybody around us. And so you may find as you move into this month that you have some new boundaries coming in, and you are able to be more in your integrity with how you express those boundaries and how you set your energetic space. And so I really think that this theme of integrity and self-responsibility is a really positive thing. I do think that it's asking us to be more diligent in how we pay attention to our expression and how we set our boundaries, which is never a bad thing in my opinion. I think sometimes we can get a little overwhelmed by what's happening around us, and we need to regroup, right? And so that's part of this theme, is stepping into that place of self-responsibility and honoring your time, your energy. And if somebody is not willing to do their own work and they keep trying to put all of that on you, this is the month to say, hey, I love you, but this is my boundary. This is for you to do. It is not my responsibility to fix that for you. I have to do my own work. Self-responsibility. self-responsibility. Okay? And that sets us up really nicely for coexistence, which is our fourth theme. So last month in Healing Circle, we worked on clarity of heart. And that theme was all about us understanding that we need to be in discernment of where we lean in and put energy into relationship and maybe where we need to pull back, and to really let down some of the walls that we had in our heart where maybe we wouldn't let certain people in even if they were right for us. And so this month, after we have kind of narrowed down, okay, this energy is in alignment with me and I want to put more time here. This energy maybe isn't in alignment with me, but I don't really want to be judging them or judging this energy. I want to coexist with this. And so coexistence looks like us continuing to focus on us, right? Self-responsibility, being integrity with ourselves, and understanding that whatever is happening with those around us that maybe we're not in alignment with, number one, it's not our responsibility to fix, but number two, we can coexist with them, right? I also see that this theme of coexistence is about the systems and structures that are dismantling right now. How can we coexist with some of these third dimensional structures and systems that are falling away and not get wrapped up in whatever fear-based energies are present there? And so, for a long time, the focus the last couple of years has been on, okay, I got to pull out and I can't listen to or be around anything fear-based because it's going to drop my vibration. Well, we are moving into a higher state of being now where we're able to hold our frequency much more strongly and much more courageously. This is going to enable us to coexist with all kinds of other energies that maybe we don't want to have in our field, but we don't have to take them on. So this theme of coexistence, I think, is very much, again, a continuation of our heart energy that we worked on last month. How can I see this person, this place, this thing that's operating in a frequency that is not my truth and coexist with it and have compassion for it, but also choose not to bring that into my field and not to align with that vibration? Coexist. That's what we're being asked to do. And this is a stepping stone, right? Because if we can't learn to coexist with one another, we can't have contact with our star brothers and sisters because they're going to be very different from us. So as we are working on coexistence, we are healing so many lifetimes of war energy and battle energy and things that say it has to be us versus them. So we're clearing a lot of competition energy with this as well. How can we coexist? How can we understand that there's enough for everyone and that some people are for some people and not for us? And that's okay, right? It's okay. You don't have to be loved by everyone and you don't have to love everyone and bring them into your field and your experience. How can you coexist? How can you ride alongside that energy and not drop into that vibration? That's what we're being asked to do this month. And we will be covering that theme of coexistence on October 12th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern in our online healing circle. And we're going to be working with our star brothers and sisters to support us in learning how to maintain that frequency. What do we need to do to maintain our frequency so that we can coexist with whatever's happening around us? We can maintain our peaceful vibration. That's what we're going to be working on in Healing Circle. So really focusing in this month on the self, right? You see that in all four of these themes: calling yourself home, refocusing on your inner work, integrity and self-responsibility, and coexistence. In the essence of all of those themes is a focus on self and our individual vibrations and frequencies so that we can remain in unity with those around us and coexist. So I hope you all have an amazing month. If you missed the first volume of my New Earth Now School, you missed a lot. It has been amazing. We have a great group of souls that have joined me on this magical adventure. Our first volume was all about the physical body, and boy, did we do some big work on clearing out stories and paradigms of fear and doubt and shame and guilt and unworthiness in the body that is keeping us from being able to be the empowered healers that we are. So you can still join us. You can catch all of those recordings and even get into the school in time for our October healing ceremony that will be in at the end of the month. And in November, we're going to be focused on money and manifestation in Volume 2 of the New Earth Now School. I will put that link below this video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything that I share throughout the month. Any energy updates and energetic themes and teachings that I share, they're going to be here on this YouTube channel. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing October. I'll see you next month.